get into this, we in February.
Right.
You know, once you get to the middle, end of February, people start thinking about March Madness. So I want to get your thoughts and Amaro's thoughts, some predictions. Like, who's looking good for postseason here in Philly? Who's in, who's on the fence, and who should be worrying about next year?
So because our guys up at Penn State are really handling their business right now.
They're enough.
They're in. They're
okay.
What, 22, 23 right now?
Okay.
They are 7-2 in the last 9.
5 in a row.
7-1 in the Big Ten. They in. Big win last night.
At Michigan
You go into East Lansing. Mm-hmm. You come out with a W. You almost go even with them on the rebounds. And you come out with a W. Lamar Stevens. Great game. Mm-hmm. A great supporting cast. Penn State is in. Lock them in.
All right. Who else is locked?
I'm only going there. Morrow.
Well, obviously, Penn State. I mean, I'm very, very.
You got them locked in?
They're in. I mean, they've won, 4 or 5 straight.
Okay.
In the Big Ten, the best league in the country this year. Sorry, ACC. Big Ten this year is the best this year. Obviously, Villanova is going to be in.
Okay.
They have an interesting collection of talent this year. They don't really have, I would say, a go-to guy per se. They're doing it by committee. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they have a lot of talent. This might be one of their deeper teams that they've had over the years, and they would be a lock. And also, let's go up to North Central Jersey to Rutgers. They dropped one to Maryland last night, but they have been one of the surprise teams.
Not
in
a
the
bad
country.
loss on the road.
Nah, not at all. But they've been one of the surprise teams nationally this year, and I think they're going to get their crack also. Steve Peichel is a very, very good coach and is coming out this year.
Seton Hall?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a little further north, but yeah, absolutely. They have one of the most exciting players in the country. Normally, guys like that are, people want to see them in the tournament, and I think they'll punch their ticket also.
Y'all like the chances from our one bid league guys? You think Drexel, Delaware, or Ryder can pull a rabbit out the hat and win their tournament and make it in? Are they competitive like that?
Ryder could. They could put it together and definitely win their league. Will they? We don't know. They've been kind of a hard to figure out bunch this year. I root for them, full disclosure, because they got a couple of my guys there who are all league guys. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. I mean, they've kind of been going through the motions this year. Hopefully, they're going through the motions because they're thinking about the postseason. But they definitely could. Drexel's probably a year away. Delaware has has good talent. So and the Colonial is not the CAA it used to be. So they could have a shot also.
And rounding it out, well, my man in the booth informed me that Penn won 2 games this past weekend. That's huge because they've been struggling.
Yeah, they were looking at being a team that come in the season to have a good year. So
they had a target on their back.
I think it's kind of a disappointing season for them.
Not kind of. It is.
Yeah.
And, rounding out the bottom, Temple's kind of really falling apart.
Right.
LaSalle and St. Joe's are really struggling in the league. They play each other twice, though. So that's going to be a war. Nobody wants to be at the bottom.
Right.
So we'll see. All right, well, Christian, we're not going to put you on the spot like that with all this local stuff. But I do want to know, since you're an ACC guy and y'all did, who did the ACC do that matchup with this year? Which league? Was it Big Ten?
ACC Big Ten.
Who you like in the Final Four? Who you think?
Starting with the ACC, I think there's 3 teams that got a real shot. Duke, Louisville, and Florida State. I mean, those three teams have talent from top to bottom. They're deep. They can play a lot of different ways. It's hard to go away from Baylor the way they're playing right now, number one team in the country.
Definitely.
After that, it's wide open. I got a former Hokie on the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and I really, really like their squad. They're outside the top 25 right now, and I just feel like they have an immense level of talent, and I think they can make a run in the tournament.
We're kind of partial to Louisville here. You know, they got a classic Philly point guard on that team. He is what you think of when you think of not a lot of nonsense, not a lot of flash, not a lot. Just gets the job done from that position. Amar, what do you think about the year Fresh has had making that jump from the A10 to the ACC?
I think it's a great experience for him. And it's his Fresh Kimball situation is the 5th-year rule, grad transfer rule, going right. I say that just because there was nothing else for him to accomplish at St. Joe's. He did all he could do.
He was a 3-year captain.
His coach got fired.
Yes.
He graduated on time.
Yes.
So why not test and go and see what how the other side's living? I didn't really agree with it when Damian Lee did it, but who am I? I mean, he's in the NBA right now.
He's in the NBA.
Not to say he wouldn't have been in there anyway, but he did it, and it is what it is. But in this particular case, it was the right thing for him to do, I believe, because of the situation. He would have came back to Hawk Hill with nothing to prove, with a young team, and he'd have been frustrated. So he goes and he tries something different out, and I think it worked out good for him.
And you can see he's playing to win. He's not out there looking for numbers or stats. He's playing to win the game. The coach trusts him, leaves him out there to make those big decisions. E, you got anything?
What with
Fresh, Louisville, Final Four?
Listen, so Baylor has really surprised me, right? Coming from that Big 12 conference where you have Kansas as a power. I like them to really challenge Kansas. When you look at Duke and into the ACC, Duke is really not showing me that they are, of that upper echelon right now. They're kind of struggling. They kind of really trying to find themselves. And they taking
that one big boy, though.
Oh, man. Listen.
They keep one of them in there. That one boy.
He gets it done down there, don't he?
Oh, my goodness.
So, really, Duke, you kind of trust them to always be there. Yeah. But Baylor, I think, is going to really surprise some people with the way they can make a run and stay in this tournament. But it's going to be wide open. This is kind of more of a wide open year than I've seen in kind of a long time, because look at the number 1 slot this year. Has anybody really stayed longer than Baylor has stayed so far?
No. It seems like every week is a different team.
Every week somebody's getting knocked off. So I'm pretty sure the tournament's going to hold true to that. We're going to see some really exciting basketball.
I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man. Super fly, here I stand, secret stash, heavy bread, baddest bitches in the